In the spring of 1925, a man sat in a grand Paris hotel, reading a newspaper. By the end of the month, he would sell the Eiffel Tower to a man who would never dare admit that he bought it. This is the story of the smoothest con man who ever lived. He called himself Count Victor Lustig, though even that name may have been invented. He spoke 5 languages, wore tailored suits, and lied for a living. And in 1925, he read that the Eiffel Tower was falling apart. The city could barely afford to keep it standing. To Lustig, that was not a problem. It was an opportunity. Most people read the news. Victor Lustig read a mark. He would not steal the tower. He would simply sell it. 7,000 tons of iron that did not belong to him. All he needed was a government that did not exist and a victim too proud to ask questions. First, Lustig needed to become someone important. He had stationery forged for a ministry of the French government. On paper, he was now the Deputy Director General of the Ministry of Posts and Telegraphs, a title that sounded important enough that no one would think to check it. Then he chose his stage, one of the finest hotels in Paris where wealth was the only language spoken. He sent secret invitations to the 5 biggest scrap metal dealers in the city, men who bought and sold iron by the ton, men who smelled money. In a private suite, Lustig delivered the news of a lifetime. The Eiffel Tower, he told them, was never meant to be permanent. It was rusting, it was costly, and the government had secretly decided to tear it down. 7,000 tons of iron sold for scrap to one lucky bidder. The secrecy, he explained, was to avoid a public outcry. They must tell no one. It was a lie so enormous that it sounded like it had to be true. And among them sat the perfect victim. His name was André Poisson, a dealer desperate to be taken seriously by the elite of Paris. Lustig could see it, so he did something brilliant. He pulled Poisson aside and quietly admitted that the job did not pay him enough. He, a humble government official, would need a small bribe to award the contract. It was a masterstroke. A corrupt official is a real official. Now Poisson was certain no con man would ever ask for a bribe. So he paid for the bribe and for the Eiffel Tower itself. By the accounts that survive, it was a small fortune. The exact sum is lost to history. Lustig took the money, shook his hand, and wished him well. Then he boarded a train and vanished into Austria. Poisson waited for the workers who would never come. And when he realized the truth, he did exactly what Lustig had counted on. He said nothing. He was too ashamed to admit he had bought the Eiffel Tower. There were no headlines, no police report. The perfect crime had left no trace. So Lustig did the only thing a man that bold could do. A few weeks later, he came back to Paris and sold the Eiffel Tower a second time. This time, the buyer went to the police before the ink was dry. Lustig slipped away once more and boarded a ship for America. In America, Lustig found a country full of dreamers, and dreamers are easy to fool. His favorite trick was a small wooden box. He called it a money printing machine. He would feed in a blank sheet, turn the dials, and 6 hours later, out came a real $100 bill. It worked because Lustig had hidden 2 real bills inside. By the time his victims learned the truth, he was long gone and thousands of dollars richer. As the story goes, he once even conned Al Capone. He borrowed $50,000, did nothing with it, and returned every cent. Capone, impressed by his honesty, rewarded him with $5,000. Lustig had played the long game. But every con man runs out of road. In America, Lustig began printing money for real. Counterfeit bills so perfect that even the banks could not tell. He flooded the country with 100,000 fake dollars a month. It was too much. In 1935, the agents finally closed in. They arrested the man who had sold the Eiffel Tower in a New York apartment. But Victor Lustig was not finished. The night before his trial, he tore his bed sheets into a rope. He climbed out of a high window, posing as a window washer, and disappeared into the crowd. He was free for 27 days. Then they caught him for the last time. Victor Lustig was sent to Alcatraz. He died there in 1947. On his death certificate, under occupation, someone had written, apprentice salesman. The man who sold the Eiffel Tower, twice, remembered as a salesman who never quite made it. That is crooked genius. If you want to explore more crooked genius, hit the follow button. We uncover a new story every week. And do not leave just yet. The newest case is waiting for you right here.